Hello, and welcome to the Legendarium Green Team. I'm Jingalls90, and with me today are Little Red Book
Hello.
and TexasBlade.
Hey, y'all.
Today we're discussing Book 8 of the Alex Verus series, Bound, by Benedict Jacka. Let's go ahead and get some first impressions going. We're eight books into this series, so I would expect some stuff to start going down, especially with the big arc. And I gotta say, this one impressed me. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm having fun with how Benedict Jacka is like playing with his structure a little bit by doing time jumps and stuff. And that he's just really getting into the really weird stuff of the world. But what do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about this one?
This is when this is about when things start to get real, like real,
Yeah.
real. And he's put in this very bad place where he has to serve Richard, which is the last thing he wanted to do. And Rachel is just freaking out. And I find the conversation, I don't know if this is spoilery. I find the conversation between Richard and Anne and Alex very interesting in the way
The
at the very beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's like, "You guys are the best, and I don't want to waste your talent. And the Light Council is stupid to waste your talent." I also just love the whole thing. Like, so Luna is camped out in a hotel room and is basically gone to crap, and she won't let anybody in. And not Varys, but Barry is like, "I don't know." Like, she didn't want to talk, so I didn't talk to her. And I'm like, "Barry, you just, did the dance, the
Yeah.
horizontal dance with her." And so yeah, she might be a little pissed at you that you aren't talking to her. And it just, like, the whole opening of this book is just brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of thought that maybe Luna was pregnant. Like that's why she was hiding. I don't know why I thought that, but well, I know exactly why I thought that because Alex has been gone for 2 months, and Very and Luna seem to have had a weird separation emotionally. So I was like, oh, maybe something did not go the way as they were expecting. So the depression was I I'm actually glad they brought it back because I forgot that Luna really kind of had that, and then it was a good reminder that she really depends on a specific structure, and Alex has provided her that for a long time, and seeing it kind of disappear, and also blaming herself for the dangers that were about to be the violence that was about to be enacted on Alex. That really hit home. That was bad. That was rough. So at Texas, you had some non-spoiler thoughts.
Yeah, it's I found that I guess in a few of these books, when I get started, I start remembering all the bad stuff that's happened. I'm like, oh no. So it's been a little bit like I really enjoy these books. These really good books, but at the beginning, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get all through all the junk that he has to go through. So that's something I've noticed a few times because so.
And it gets worse in this one.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I'm like, oh gosh, that's right. This is happening. This book. Oh my gosh. But they're short enough that you can press through especially when you have the reason to press through like a recording. So
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I mean. I still, even as the newer reader of the four of us, I can pump through one of these books in a day with like no effort. I just sit down, I open it to page one, and like 6 to 8 hours later, I'm done. I'm just like, oh, that went by real fast.
What I love about the style of this series is that he is able to cram so much into so small a space. They're like 250 pages or so a piece.
Yeah.
And you get so much I don't know, he just does it in such a great way. Like, he gives you so much information, and yet you don't feel, I mean, Stormlight.
what
Just
is it?
just
Is
saying.
it padded out with a whole lot of stuff?
Yeah, he is, his books are so stripped down, and but still so good and creative, and he's able to get really good character touches even though it's such a small space. So yay for
Yeah.
shorter stories. It's not really what I'd call a short story, but it's there.
It's I mean, yeah, when you're comparing it to well, maybe this isn't true in the urban fantasy genre, but like when you're comparing it to a lot of the more popular fantasy series right now, where they're all just giant tomes, these are really condensed and very,
They're
um,
punchy.
yeah, they're very punchy, and they don't really lose emotional impact like at all. I think I feel more tied to these four particular characters more than I do really a lot of other big fantasy series.
I
Um,
feel like less is more.
yeah,
So, and
absolutely. I think I'd agree
I'm
with
not,
that.
yeah, I'm not crapping on Stormlight. That's not what I meant. I'm just saying that there's so much. There's just so much. And it's like, maybe you could, I feel the same way about Stephen King. It's like, maybe in Dark Tower, you could just have, I don't know, cut this down a bit. Just saying, like, just a little bit. I don't know who to blame for, or if it was just in the zeitgeist of these giant books that you're like, you could cut like 5 chapters out of this book and you would still know what was going on.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
I,
anyway.
it's a. I mean, at the time of recording this, a lot of people have had Wind and Truth in their pot in their hands already, right? And I think there's
Just
a
finished my
huge,
second go through on it.
and I think there is a complaint there that is constant, pretty consistent, that it is too long and that it is padded and all that.
And it's
But
not good.
well, there's that too. No, no,
I
Texas
enjoyed
might
it well
disagree with
enough.
you. Yeah,
I enjoyed it well
same time
enough.
through.
I'm just saying that I was very disappointed in it.
Yeah.
So,
I wasn't. This is really tangential. I wasn't, but I definitely recognize its faults. Um, particularly the length and the just lack of movement generally. But anyway, we're
okay,
not here
let's
to
move
talk about
on.
Stormlight. Yeah, we're here. We're here to
I'm going to
talk
get
about
canceled by the
Bound.
community for
Yeah.
my opinion.
I don't know. It seems I think a vast majority of people kind of agree with.
Let's
The
move on.
Yeah,
sentiment.
Let's move
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
on.
So, all right, Bound. Last we saw Alex and Anne, they were on their way into Richard Drake's mansion. In Bound, we find them there, having an unsettling talk with Vahala, Richard giving instructions and almost getting assassinated by Delio. We then journey into a year in the life on the bureaucratic side. Alex is Morden's aide, and he's doing a lot of talking with other aides and doing a whole lot of nothing with the Keepers, whom he is now a part of, but also ostracized. Anne continues to work as a healer, though she is also limited by the other light mages. We meet some real hope these guys die in the worst way possible types in Zillion, Lightbringer, and Jarneth, crusaders who have no qualms with torture. Luna is facing her depression, and Varium continues to somehow avoid having many problems outside of his hot headedness. Early in the year, Alex starts to take what Arachne said very seriously and thinks of ways he could amass his own power to fight the light and the dark mages. One component seems to be a new imbued item called a Dreamstone. The team pulls an Inception level heist in a Dryad Shadow Realm and a Deep Shadow Realm made up of who knows what to retrieve two Dreamstones, one for Anne and one for Verus. As an added bonus, the Dryad goes into a cocoon state, and the team begins to use the Shadow Realm named the Hollow as their personal base. Alex also meets a man named Archon, a Darth Vader type who does many negotiations with adepts in Richard's name. Later in the year, rumors begin to spread of a pending attack on the war rooms led by Morden. Alex denies these rumors because it would be a stupid thing to do, but that doesn't stop Zillion and Lightbringer from kidnapping Anne and flaying her alive. Verus, Veri, and Luna save Anne, and take her to the Hollow to heal. Alex's feelings for Anne start to become more obvious. Morden eventually reveals that he's actually planning to raid the war rooms, and Alex uses that information to remove his and Anne's death order as well as to clear them of any crimes they've been asked to partake in while under Morden and Richard's control. The raid turns out to be a red herring, however. Arkan's efforts with the adept negotiations result in a march and riot outside of them, while Morden and Richard's main objective is the vaults. Alex and Anne are used in different ways to eventually clear the vaults, and Anne is bonded with a djinn. In a final battle for survival and to protect an unconscious Anne, Alex and Archon, now revealed to be Richard, fight and kill a squad of Crusader mages, including Lightbringer, Jarneth, and Zillion. Morden is arrested, and Alex becomes the new Dark Mage Council member.
So I know that TexasBlade made a lot of notes. You made a lot of notes. I just want to say one of my favorite scenes in this book is where Alex basically breaks down Luna's hotel door and tells her to get her crap together.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
And then we find out that our good boy, Hermes, has been hanging out with Luna and keeping an eye on her. And, Hermes gonna Hermes. And I'm glad to see him Hermesing in Luna's hotel room.
Yeah, I do too. Because that dang fox, I never know what he's up to, where he's going, and he even just shows up for that one scene. And I'm just, of course, he was just hanging out with Luna. Because why wouldn't he?
There's food there
Yeah.
in the piles of stuff.
But yeah, I love I do love the emotional that scene, just kind of seeing the ties that Luna and Alex have to each other emotionally, and kind of just the way they interact with each other, how Alex perceives their relationship versus the way Luna perceives it, and seeing how he also takes the time to actually reflect on how he feels about Arachne just before, because Arachne reveals that there were definitely mages trying to break into her den to try to see if he was there.
Or possibly kill her. It's hard to
Or possibly kill her. Yeah, there's a couple options, but it put a spotlight on a relationship that maybe hasn't had that much growth in the last couple books. I wouldn't say it's been stagnant, but the priority of focus has not been necessarily on Luna and Alex. So getting back to the roots of why they are together and why they are the way they are, that was nice.
I just like that he says to her, she's like, I don't know what to do anymore because I've been working to prove myself on the battlefield, basically, and prove myself helpful. And he's like, that's just part of being a mage. And I was thinking that's part of being a grown up. Is it all of a sudden you have to, like, your life is set out for you. You graduate from high school or you go to college or trade school or whatever. And I've had moments even as an older adult than Luna where somebody has just had to say, look, you're going to have to make some decisions here.
Yeah. Pull it together.
Yeah,
it's not going to be easy every time, right?
Thanks, sus. She's
Yeah.
doing that for me.
And I think we all hit those down times, right? We all approach, hit ruts where we're just not sure what to do next. Because things, like Alex points out, things change in our lives, and they often don't do it immediately. They do it very slowly, and to the point where you're like the toad in hot water, right? Like you didn't realize that you were in trouble until it's almost too late. And it's good to have people there that are willing to be a little hard with you, but still show you love.
For sure.
I think Alex and Luna are definitely at that stage.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the only thing I wanted to make sure we talked about. So
Sure. Well, in that case, shall we go all the way back to the beginning and talk about Richard's mansion? Because there was some interesting stuff there. The Dama, for example, the really dark version of Mr. Meeseeks.
Also reminds me of, I think, Wheel of Time has a similar construct thing with the Dark Friend Social has those things. So that's what I remember them. But yeah, very handy thing to have if you don't want spies but don't want to do things yourself either.
Yeah, they're kind of tragic. Much better than what Valhalla is doing.
Yeah, they're
I
constructs.
guess. I don't really know. Yeah,
I mean, they're constructs, not people. So theoretically, yeah, it's just like an android almost, just a magical one. So a lot better. Just questionable form, I guess.
Richard has this weird thought about how, well, at least he doesn't have slaves anymore. Or is it worse that he doesn't have slaves?
I don't know how to. That I had to actually consider that that's an improvement. I don't know. I found Alex's flashback interesting too, because of kind of Richard is such a weird character. He doesn't seem to really. I don't know. He has a weird respect for Alex, at least I think he does. But I don't know what the ultimate goal is here anymore. I thought I did, but I don't anymore. Even the Jin stuff at the end, I never really thought Alex was supposed to be that role. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of wandering on thoughts on that one. Any thoughts on Richard right now? As far as
What do you think his magic type is?
I'm actually starting to think he doesn't have a magic type. I'm starting to think he's just a
Your
regular dude.
tool user.
Yeah, just straight up, just really looked into the mage world and has figured it out, and is really fooling everyone.
So we talk about how these are super serious. There is this really, really funny moment when they're leaving and Alex is looking for, danger. They're leaving Richard's house. And Rachel all of a sudden attacks. And Anne's like, you usually don't miss things like that. And he's like, well, it's a lot easier to predict when somebody isn't sorry.
That's all right.
Crazy. I laughed so hard. He's like really because she's like, I didn't mean it like that. It's just, she's crazy. You don't know what she's gonna do. She doesn't know what she's gonna do because she's
Which
crazy.
is why, because you can't know something's going to happen until someone makes the decision. So if
Right.
she's oscillating and then spur of the moment makes the decision, then yeah.
And once again, we have a character asking Alex to fix the problem with Rachel, and I don't understand how anybody thinks that Alex can do that. I just don't.
I don't either because although I do love that Cinder loves French fries. I'm just gonna put that. That's a good McDonald's French fries specifically. Um, I just don't get why they think whatever Alex is doing is helping Rachel, because every time they talk, they're antagonistic with each other. It's not at all. I don't think Alex is really putting in an effort to try to be fixing or helping fix Rachel.
And you did get your little Captain America reveal.
We did, yes, Kyle. That's why I forgot his name, but Kyle, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is out of left field. I think Alex and Cinder just need to drop Rachel and just go be together because they seem far more interested in respecting each other than Rachel has any play in that situation. So,
Yeah.
There's
Presumably,
sorry, go ahead.
presumably people think he can do something with Rachel is because he's the one that gets the most reactions from her. So it's like clearly there's something they're like he seems to only care about him and getting rid of him, so he must know something. Or
yeah,
I don't
but
know.
they're so negative, and her thoughts about him are just so twisted. Like she has no bearing on reality.
Well, she's just like, Richard likes you best and it's not fair type of thing is kind of where she's coming from. She's still competing with him for chosen, even though she's chosen, is where I think a lot of that animosity comes from.
Yeah.
But what I would like to say is that no, Cinder should not go off with Alex. Cinder should go off with Rachel and just like leave the situation. Because as Alex says, he didn't say your girlfriend.
Right.
It's very much implied that they're an item.
Yeah.
So I'm just go off and make little dark mage babies together and just like leave this world, leave this situation.
She totally doesn't want to leave it though, right? I mean, she
No,
is so
that's
invested. Yeah.
Yeah, she is very invested. That's kind of it's been her whole life for however long Alex or Richard has been gone, and
Yeah,
even
12
before
years.
that, 12 years, and even before that, among other things.
Well, that's what the new insights about the Jinn also make me suspicious of the shadow thing that went into her, which I got to assume that has something to do with why she's so loyal to Richard, is because maybe something inside of her got its freedom.
So you mean despite or in addition to Shireen living in her head?
Yeah, because what was it? Cursed, where the chosen, where it was shown that the creature in the dream went into her body. Yeah,
shadow.
Yeah. At the moment, at the same time as she was doing the, what's it called?
The harvesting.
Harvesting. That's the word.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I just kind of saw that, and a lot of the reveals about the genies in this, I realized that might have something to do with that. Especially because we saw like the monkey's paw 2 had an actual creature come out of it. An Ifrit, I think they said is what it was. But so I'm not 100% certain. I mean, at this point, I don't even know if what Rachel's talking to is Shireen. I don't think that's what Alex is actually talking to. So yeah.
Well, I think even Shireen says she's not really Shireen. She's just a leftover cognitive shadow, if you would.
Right.
So do
But
you
that's
think the
what she
Shireen
says she
and the
is.
Shadow are the same? Or do you think they're two
No,
different
I
things?
think they're two different things. I don't know. Oh. I did find we did way less Rachel therapy in this book than I thought we were going to. So clearly, Jacka has more plans for that. We didn't even see Shireen in this book. For all the talk of Elseworld, we didn't go into it very at all. I don't think at all.
No,
Oh,
didn't. Yeah.
yeah.
Closest thing was that Deep Shadow Realm.
The Deep Shadow Realm, the Inception.
So we should talk about why. Okay, so they retrieve the item, right? And this is
Mhm.
how Alex is supposed to get trust back, right?
Right.
And they fight. No, I'm thinking about a different book. Oh my gosh, they're so squished in my head. It's amazing. Anyway, and there's this whole thing with the vault, and then we find out the Crusaders are trying to kill Alex, all that kind of stuff.
Well, we found out that before. The Vault was when they got their chance, they thought.
Right.
Or
Right.
their final chance.
And so
Um,
now and he's feeding information to what's his face, who's
Alcid.
completely useless most of the time. Taliesin. Yes, Taliesin. Okay, I'm just trying to like catch us up because we've been stuck at the beginning of the book, so I'm trying to move us forward.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, they had a
wanna
few
talk-
meetings, wanting Talcid once more without giving much, and
gosh, he's so useless.
He is.
yeah, then
I mean, not. I don't understand his relationship with Alex in the sense that I guess the goal is to just appease Alex enough that he continues doing what Taliesin wants. But like
He's a spook.
yeah, but he does a ton of stuff for Alex, like locking down the hollow for them, and
well, that took a lot of convincing.
yeah, everything with Taliesin takes convincing though.
Yeah.
That's just the state of Taliesin.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's a spook. So his whole relationship with everybody is basically to keep everything close to the chest and only giving information that he absolutely has to give. He's a spy.
Yeah.
So that's how he relates to the world. James Bond wouldn't be all like, yeah, I know about where the madman's whatever is, or that was a bad example, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, we also have the fact that Richard also has a Dreamstone.
Yeah, now he has a Dreamstone too.
Now he has a Dreamstone. Yeah.
So maybe what do you have an idea what he has used for that?
I have no idea what those things are used for yet. I mean, other than like the really obvious thing that Arachne said, which is that they allow you to go into elsewhere without sleep.
And Alex used it at the very close to the end to speak with
communicate with Anne. Yeah.
Which
came from what Arachne was saying was the one that he had more to do with connection than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dreamstones don't seem to have a set purpose necessarily.
Or they have
stronger.
They have varying.
Yeah.
What's the word? Aptitudes or alignments.
Yeah.
And
interesting about the Dreamstone. So when they're in the
Deep Shadow Realm.
Yeah, the Deep Shadow Realm is that the one that Anne finds is the one that is most capable of using to control people.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that Alex finds is the one that's most suited to him. And interestingly, it's a little boy when he first meets it. I thought that was so cool. It was such a nice touch.
Well, it's him, isn't it? It sounded like oh shoot, what's the word? The description of what he would maybe look like as a kid to me. But
maybe
because he's like, he looks familiar, but I don't know where he's from. It's probably because from when he was a kid.
Yeah,
and he doesn't look at pictures from then.
Yeah, because it's like the Dreamstone is projecting towards him. He's like, and says to him, "You're not ready. You're not ready for this. You're not grown up enough for it." But I just thought that was such a cool little scene. So
that's kind of a deception scene, really, too, because then he picks it up,
totally is.
and then it comes, and then he wakes up, and he's just there holding it after getting attacked by Anne, who is not Anne.
Yeah, the Mad Anne.
Oh man, that whole exchange in the Deeper Shadow Realm is so intense between him and Alex, or him and him and whoever, and
Anne,
him and Anne.
Which Anne?
Which Anne? Yeah, that was the real question, wasn't it?
First Anne or second Anne? Dream Anne or
both?
How cool is the hollow?
That's so cool. I love the Hollow. This was the most the most fantasy thing we've seen out of this so far, like realms of just wonder. Like this is just someone. I mean, it's hostile. I guess we can't say it's not, but it's not like Sagash's realm or the guy from the third book. I can't remember his name. Where they're just like absolutely miserable, like terrible things. This is like a beautiful.
I
Just
mean,
island.
Gosh's realm isn't bad except for the shadow things that he made. It's him who makes it thing, and you could argue the Hollows also was terrible because of all the constructs that what's her name
No,
Yeah, but
I
thorn
disagree
monsters are
with
still
Arios
cool.
makes. It,
because the hollow is beautiful. And
Mhm.
not
it's a
only is it
beautiful danger,
beautiful,
yeah.
it's floating and like suspended. There's
There
sky
was
up
a
there and there's
sunset in
sky down
Sagash's
there.
realm, right? And it's supposed to be good,
There
right?
was.
We're
And
really stretching for beauty here.
and it's so gorgeous. And there's these beautiful butterflies and roses that are going to kill you.
Yeah. We got our little thorn monsters and
Yeah.
yeah, just don't get used to smelling flowers because they're gonna be deadly.
But
No,
it's
they
so
they cleared
cool.
it out. They cleared it out. So
So the fight was so cool.
Yeah.
And then Anne puts Carosius or something like that to sleep.
Yeah,
And like,
Carios.
it's gonna
Arios
be
is how they say it in the
Cariosis,
audiobook.
yeah. And she puts it Cariosis to sleep, and then they're like, "Okay, that will last 24 hours. We'll totally be back."
And a little bit before that, we also get the humor of the coin flip,
Oh,
where
yeah.
arguing about who will do it and stuff. It's like, oh, you're a chance mage, you can't do it. You're a probability mage, you can't do it.
And then
And then
how
Anne,
easily, yeah, how what does that impression actually look like to you on a on skin? Yeah, the
I just wonder
trickery.
if between fighting the bad guys while they're waiting for Alex and Anne to get back, they did some more training.
3 days is
if
a
they
long time.
could, they may have
They might
thought
have
about
not
it,
enough
but
time.
then they probably would have been scared to do it too because constant attacks. So I don't think they had time because they still were clearing it even after they got back. So
Yeah.
That's true. It's just yeah. Luna and I don't know if it's a healthy relationship, Luna and Very, but it seems to work for them. So
I don't know if it is working for them actually.
yeah. You don't think so?
No. I
No.
think I think they both just it's more like they're convenient partners
Yeah.
as opposed to yeah, I don't think it's working for them. I think that they've I mean, Luna even says I don't talk to anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very isolated.
So, I don't think it's
Yeah.
working for him.
And Very just really is not emotionally receptive at all in any meaningful way.
I mean, he's much more yeah, he's loyalty is really important to him,
Yeah.
but I don't know how strongly he feels. Like it's more
Yeah.
of a value than an emotion for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that does make sense. I mean, just look at his actions with Luna locking herself up. Like he just kind of not dismissed it, but he could have been a
presumably he
better at it,
tried a few times. I think he said he did, but yeah,
presumably.
I don't think he has a whole lot of knowledge of such things.
Of how people in general work.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't think
But he's always a
understands
very
people.
combative person, right? And just deals with things right up front, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I missed having
right.
Landis.
He's always wanting to burn things too, so he can't
Yeah.
burn emotions. So what's he gonna do?
Right.
I did miss Landis. I actually missed Caldera. We've had so many interactions with
Miss
Caldera.
Caldera?
I
She's in
miss
this
Caldera.
book.
Not
She's
long
in this
enough.
book.
Not long enough.
Too
She's in
long.
it.
Too long. It's just
No.
like
I need closure on that a lot better than what we've got so far. Because I
well, no,
know
she
it's
clearly
happening. She
blames
will be
Alex for
back.
not letting her take him in and die. She can't think past what happens if I had taken him in. She's just like, oh, you didn't let me take you in, so therefore you're evil. It's like, did you not pay attention? What would have happened? Just think past. But she's not, and then
I
drove
don't
me
know.
crazy.
I want to give
Did I
Caldera a
have
little more
any?
credit
Did
than
I have
that.
any
I think
comment about
she
that from her?
Uh,
No,
I'm not.
no,
I'm
she's
gonna. I'm just gonna say that Caldera is very disappointing.
Yeah.
Just as a character, at least for me, she goes off the rails.
Okay. Interesting. That's too bad.
Yeah, I hope that's not too. But there's some other things that happen that aren't her fault that makes the situation worse.
Sure.
Without spoiling.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we're looking at our two very light mage loyalist people, Sonder and Caldera, uh, he, Alex being a dark mage representative on the council is not going to go great, presumably.
No.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, like, surely you can look past that. If you were willing to, but they're not willing to look past. They're just like face value.
yeah.
You know, they can't. You know, it's like he did everything he possibly could except die. And I guess maybe they think maybe he should die to show that he's not a dark mage. But
But
it's easy for them to say.
Sonder, I think, kind of came back around a little
Yes.
bit this one.
Yeah. This
but
one, yeah.
It also wasn't for Alex. It was to help
Very
Aaron.
true.
So
yeah, who is technically also a dark mage, which she doesn't seem to have a problem with. So that's good for him.
yeah.
I don't think Caldera would do anything for her. She's didn't like her. She's never liked her. Period. Whereas she somewhat seemed to like Alex at some point.
Yeah.
Or at least trust him.
Yeah. Well, or pretended well enough to trust him, but apparently didn't go very far.
I think she did because she stood up for him when they were getting the thing from the.
Oh yeah, very
other
true.
But the thing they
yeah,
it's so they stole all the things from the vault.
That's not going to come back. It's done. It's over. We're not going to see anything of that about that. It's no effects.
Okay, so this might be a little spoilery, but this is where we begin the Anne gets kidnapped and tortured portion of the series.
Oh, this happens more than once?
I want to say in every single other book, she gets kidnapped and tortured. I think this is the second book that she's been kidnapped and tortured.
Well, yeah, it's definitely happened before, but this one.
She gets kidnapped. Third book, she gets kidnapped, I think.
Yeah.
At least the second book, she gets tortured. Because she's not really. She's not tortured in Suggest as well. Yeah. Well, I guess no, she does get a little bit tortured. Never mind.
She gets a little bit tortured.
A little bit tortured. Just a little bit.
I mean, she's not tortured for the whole time that she's been kidnapped, because she gets kidnapped and then she hides. But at the very end, I think Crystal gets her for a little bit. And then before that, it was the guy in the house that got her.
If you feel like you need to cut that, I feel like this is a trigger warning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we got to acknowledge it at some point, right? It's going to be it's a big part of this book, and if it's a continuing trend, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's not always. It's different every single time. It's not her being flayed alive and wires stuck in her, which was just
this is the worst.
This is some straight up Hellraiser crap. Like, just awful. Did not expect to see that when they opened the room.
That was really upsetting.
It was really upsetting, especially because Jacka led me into such a sense of security leading up to it. Because that fight, when they raid the place, so cool.
It was so good.
Like just watching watching Alex, Luna, and Very all like just coordinate like perfectly and just do exactly the thing they wanted to do against all odds. They went against two Crusaders. They scared both of them off. They did the thing. They saved the person, but they didn't, because that was just, I don't know. Zelane and Lightbringer, when they first were introduced, I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool idea of two Crusaders that are actually going to be able to, or two mages that are actually going to be able to take on and strategize against Alex. That's really cool. I wanted them gone so fast after the scene.
Yeah, and they do go, and one of them, like a total bully jerk that he is, like as soon as he's not in control, he's just a blubbering, and then of course would have flipped his tune once again. Just like, I guess there's plenty of, it's just the bully thing where it's like only big and tough when you're on top, and then as soon as
an absolute coward once things start not going your way.
Yep. But then seemingly willing to flip as soon as you get the upper hand again. So no lessons learned. Can't learn any
No,
lessons
that's fine. They don't need to learn any
until the
lessons
end,
because
the
they're
last
dead.
lesson.
Yep.
The council again lets us down because instead of chasing these two freaking keepers, what do? They go after Anne
Yep.
for treating people.
For treating people, for doing good things. The council
And
sucks.
and then Alex says to Telesad, look, this is why nobody likes you. Because of stuff like this. Like in that other book where the dude lit up a bar full of adepts because he was pissed at this girl, and they never issue a warrant so that they can arrest him, and then he's in the wind. And it's like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
And that's an important point because in this book, Richard as Archon is going around and like basically recruiting adepts.
Mhm.
I'll be able to give you some protection. I'll be able to help you out. And it's the council that created this freaking situation.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
I'm just sorry.
Well,
It makes
yeah.
me so
Yeah.
angry.
Well, no, I just like even
It's what
looking
happens when they're cloistered away and probably raised from children to be part of their clique thing. There's no one, there are no common men wizards because they're all in their ivory castles or whatever. So
What I'm saying is, first of all, if the council were smart, they would be recruiting these adepts into the light council. They would be doing that
Yeah.
and making sure that they
have
get
like
proper
a
training.
junior light council. Yeah.
Or yeah, well, just recruiting them into the fold. You
Mhm.
have all these adepts, and instead of scorning them, recruit them in and train them.
I think wizards now and again will take a adept. Like, oh, you have a particular useful skill. You may be my
Right,
person,
but
but that's about it. Yeah.
then you also have a bunch of like baby mages who can't find anybody to train them because of the way the Light Council that runs the training.
Yeah.
And it's like, so of course they're going to go to a dark mage because nobody will train them in the light mage
Right.
circles. It's like,
I mean, who wants to
insane.
be a light? I mean, there's not much difference, so what does it matter except for?
That's
I mean,
true. There's not much difference.
it's either the physical, being physically strong armed or legislatively strong armed.
I'm just saying
So
that
yeah.
the Light Council is causing its
Oh,
own
yeah.
problems.
Yeah. Well, and the dark mages are very good at being tricky. They're very good
Being
at luring you
bad.
into a
Well, a
false
few
sense of
of them are.
security.
A few of them are the
I
top
mean,
ones.
yeah.
Which
I
that's
mean,
why
you look
they're
at
the top.
people like you look like at people like Vahala, and she's clearly just a sadist. But I mean, Richard and Morden both, they're very smooth. They're there is some uncertainty as to exactly what they're whether they're evil or not at times. I mean, they always reveal themselves to be very evil, but you can get lured into a false sense of being okay with what they do. I think very conveniently, especially if you don't have anywhere else to go.
So
Yeah.
how do you feel about Cinder?
Cinder?
It
I
just,
love Cinder. I
is
mean,
he
generally speaking.
evil, or is he just like he just got brought up on the dark side, and so he's part of the dark side?
I mean, he's a guy who kills people for money. I'm not gonna really like
Lawfully evil,
question.
maybe something like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna question whether he's a good guy or not. But everyone is multifaceted, right? And he clearly has like a level of respect. If you reach that level, he's seems like a pretty chill dude. Like he took Kyle for whatever reason. I don't exactly understand that what happened there, but it sounds like whatever it was, Kyle had to agree to it.
He's basically kind of an apprentice, but not
Yeah.
quite.
It
And
was be an apprentice or die kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's because he respected Kyle and how Kyle handled himself during the whole thing.
Yeah. So, and he shows that same respect to Alex as well.
Mhm.
Cinder is the only person in the entire vault situation, I guess, besides Richard, who's like, I'll try to do what I can to help you, but you are kind of on your own right now because I can't do anything. So, like he does save Alex from Onyx.
Mhm. Who's just a sociopath or a
Yeah.
psychopath or one of those paths.
Yeah, whichever one fits the best, whatever fits the bill best. But yeah, I mean, it's one of like Cinder. I would put him in the same level as Morton and Richard. Like, I absolutely can see at times why you would trust this guy or believe that he maybe has your best interest in mind, but the ulterior motives are always gonna reveal themselves eventually. And I think it's a thing Alex constantly is fighting because, like, Richard, I don't know, Richard is his trauma, so he, he definitely like he knows Richard's bad, but he fell for Morden, and he even admits as much. Like he started
Mhm.
to understand over the year why people will follow Morden, and he had to remind himself multiple times why exactly he was there. It wasn't by choice,
Right.
but he thought it was. Sometimes he kind of forgot. So
So, okay, there's what's a couple other points that we need to touch on. There is how it ends with them getting the hollow basically set up.
mm,
And now Alex is on the Dark Council because
and
Mordant gave himself up.
yep.
yeah,
So this is
and
all part of a
Anne's
plan
going to
still.
have a pact with a Jinn apparently.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Which, if I'm understanding right, probably isn't gonna go great because it was not her
We won't see it
empathetic
again. What are you talking
side.
about? It's not
Well,
important.
I just meant more her empathetic side was not the one that made the bond with the Jinn. It was
They were both in kind of agreement at the time when they saw who was coming for them. But yes, her empathetic side was a little bit less interested until the very end.
Yeah, she was just basically desperate at the time.
yeah, desperate and angry. Which, you see your torturers, I don't blame you for getting a little angry. That makes
And
sense.
desperate.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Kind of brought it on themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just about the end now that we have Councilman Verus, I'm kind of enjoying that my predictions are kind of coming true, but in the most twisted ways possible. Like none of them are like getting to points that are like they're accurate. Like I did think he was gonna get on the council and start doing stuff and things, but not like this. I thought there was always gonna be more option to it, more choice. Um, so that's been fun. I do. Were y'all fooled by Arkin? Did you know that it
I
was
don't
not
remember.
Richard?
It's been
I
so
can't remember.
long. It's been so
Okay.
long since I read it the first time. Maybe I don't think I realized until the vault reveal.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels about right to me.
Yeah.
What
I
about
only
you?
ask. I only ask because I know that an Arkin is a leader of a kind, but I assumed it was Morden or Richard, or maybe some alternate version. I'm still playing with. I know at some point someone mentioned that wherever Richard went isn't really delved too deeply into. But I was like, what if he pulled like negative Alex, and that was who this guy was? Like that's why they had him in the Darth Vader mask and stuff. It's like, no, okay, no, it's just Richard.
I love the idea of negative Alex. um, yeah, it's really annoying. You never find out too much about where he went, and it's super annoying. But if he had pulled
Guess that
negative
leaves something
Alex,
for a spin-off series, maybe.
I would be there for that
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. But I think he's done with the series.
yeah. When was the last one written?
I mean, he's writing another series now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3 or 4 years ago.
That's pretty recent, I guess.
I,
It's still the right
yeah,
one.
yeah. It couldn't be because I do remember I was at my current job, which I got a couple years ago, when I was listening to the last book. I'm pretty sure.
I would love to see
So
like a spin-off, like short stories set with like an Arachne point of view story, a Hermes point
Yeah,
of view story.
just do all
Maybe
the
even
creatures.
do all the creatures.
Do a even a Dryad one would be kind of fun. Just her hang out in the hollow. Get some
Just
stories
killing
about
people.
those other people. Yeah, get some stories about those people. Okay. Do we have anything we want to plug before we close out here?
Not today. Oh wait, did we do predictions we didn't do predictions from
Oh, we
you
didn't
for
do
the campaign.
oh,
predictions. What's the next book called?
Marked.
Mm, that doesn't mean much. I haven't heard that word yet.
with these one-word titles, it can be very hard to remember what happened in them. To be fair.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Well, okay. We now have two people in Alex's life that are potentially possessed by magical creatures. Rachel and Anne.
the Jin storyline's done with. We're done with that.
I think marked means something with regard to that bonding. I guess so. We'll see. Also, I guess we still have Alex in a sort of crosshairs because he is now full on considered
The
a dark
Dark
mage.
Mage on
There's
the
just no
council.
way. Yeah, there's just no way to avoid that title at this point. So maybe we'll be seeing a little bit more Crusader action out of that one. Yeah, I really don't know where we're going anymore. I mean, I think like general overview, we still got the dismount. We get to see Levistus and Alex talk a lot more, and they have to do it in a political setting. That could be interesting.
Do you think that Alex will be good at his job?
Oh yeah, he's good. Not in the way that people want him to be, but he's going to be fantastic. He's going to be he is going to be ready to go. He is going to just stir that pot big time.
Oh man, the opening of Marked is so good. So good.
What does he outright refuse this? Am I just going down the
No,
total wrong path
no.
here?
No. It's gonna be amazing, and it has nothing to do with your prediction at all. I
Perfect.
mean,
All
the
right.
good at his job part. No, it's not even about that. I mean, it depends on how you look at good at his job.
Exactly.
So,
He doesn't. We know he doesn't play the way the light mages or the dark mages want him to play. So the fact that he actually, not in the way he expected, yet again, but he does now have power in this
Mhm.
in this foundation, and he's gonna be. I think he's gonna use it in interesting ways. But alrighty. So that has been the Green Team of the Legendarium's discussion of Bound by Benedict Jacka. Please join us on the Legendarium Discord server to continue the discussion there. We're also on YouTube and things now, so please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Help us get out there more. Thanks go to Craig and the Legendarium and Horizon Brave for starting the Green Team. Intro and outro music is Galactic Damages by Jingle Punks. For TexasBlade and Little Red Book, I'm Jingles. Until next time, thanks for listening.
bye.
Have a good one.